biggest shift, like for me in the like my own kind of path and healing process, one of those markers of the biggest psychological elements for shifting was no longer seeing the anxiety itself as an enemy, and like shifting instead to seeing it as something that was understandable, that was happening for a reason, that was trying to help me. Because the social anxiety is trying to help you. It ends up like costing a whole lot more than it benefits, but it's there because it's trying to help. Probably the deepest shift I've made is from like seeing the anxiety itself as a problem and threatening and something that needs to be crushed, to instead something that is trying to help me but is a bit misguided and needs me to kind of teach it, soothe it, calm it down, and actively choose responses that are going to be more useful and helpful. That, you know, this idea of this being this anxious part and then a protective part. Trying to work with all those parts of myself. You know, that I can choose better ways than being defensive as far as protection, and I can find better ways of calming the anxiety down versus yelling at it. You know, because that just, you know, just like with the child, you got a scared child. If you yell at it, it's just going to be more scared. It's not going to improve. You know, and so what that ends up looking like is, before I sort of learned all this, if anxiety came up or something negative came up, you know, anxiety, self-criticism, shame, whatever it was, oh, I don't like this. This is bad. This is the thing I'm trying to get rid of. I'm going to yell at it or yell at myself for letting it be there, or like, why am I doing this? What am I doing wrong? Attack. And all that's doing is just creating anxiety about anxiety, shame about shame, self-criticism of self-criticism. And that just spins it up. Nowadays, that's it's not where I am. If that stuff comes up, I'm like, okay, that has been triggered. And it, you know, luckily it comes up a whole lot less now than it did when I was in my 20s. But if it does come up, I am aware of it. I'm able to step back and be like, okay, shame's been triggered, or self-criticism, or anxiety, or sadness, or whatever it is. I'm able to step back, notice it, name it, and then be sort of compassionate to myself that I am going through that, and then letting it, you know, obviously I have techniques and all, but letting it pass through. Basically, like letting it be like an emotional exposure, pass through. And that ability, like you could call that like cognitive distance. The metaphor I use when trying to explain it to people is, there's a storm happening, there's a big storm. And that difference in perspective and shift is the difference between being out in the storm, getting pelted with wind and rain and hail, versus being a bit back from it and being like in a comfortable house or cabin or something, looking out the window at, oh, whoa, there's a big storm out there. But you're not stopping the storm, you're not fighting it, but you are in a nice kind of safe place where you can watch the storm come and go. And I know that there's a lot of people that find it soothing to be inside in a storm looking out the window, because they tell me this. Personally, I like some sunshine at the beach, but